What's going on, everybody? And today I'm bringing you my Zulrah guide. The reason why you want to kill Zulrah, everyone knows Zulrah is the best money maker out there. This isn't a new thing. Most of the stuff that I'm gonna say in this intro part, especially, you'd probably have heard before. This is just all of this kind of information. It's kind of compiled into a video. So let's get on with it. We got the four main drops that you want: the Tanzanite Fang, the Blowpipe, the Magic Fang, the Trident of the Swamp, the Serpentine Visage for the helmet. That also makes it so that you don't have to use anti-venom at Zulrah, and the Uncut Onyx. Yeah, no one really wants this, but it's not a bad drop to get. If you get it, it's a good drop. There's also Dragon Medhelm and Dragon Halberd. These are more for Iron Men who want to do clues and who need them. There's good runes here. You'll make law runes, especially if you're using some of the methods later on that use law runes to get there. You will still profit law runes. Deaths and chaoses, not as much. You'll become break even. Depending on your luck, you might get more, but you'll very likely either have enough to keep. You'll always have enough to keep you going, but you'll never have enough to keep you at full charge. You'll also get a substantial amount of pure essence, 1,500 pure essence in a noted drop. Of course, all these are noted. You'll get herbs. You will not get Ranar. There are 4 different kinds. They're not the best. It's like, what is there? 1 second. Oh, bad YouTuber. Toadflax, Snapdragon, Dwarfweed, and Torstles. They're not the best herbs, but they're pretty good. They're cleaned, and there's noted, and there's 20 of them, which isn't bad. There's coal, magic logs, magic seeds, spirit seeds, and palm tree seeds. These are just your good everyday essentials. It's why not have. Now we get into except for these 4, the reason you're at Zulrah. Zulrah scales. You gotta have these to keep you going with these 3 items. These are essential. Raw Shark, 100 Raw Shark from 1 single Zulrah drop. And remember, Zulrah isn't you get your item. You get a bone. Let's say it's like you kill a goblin, you'll get bones, and you'll get a bronze dagger. Zulrah is, you'll get Zulrah scales, between X and X amount, non-exact amounts. I can find it here really fast. Apparently I cannot. Apparently I cannot. Between 100 and 300 scales per drop. Plus, you can actually get even more scales. You can get up to 1,300 scales because you can get 2 drops per 1 Zulrah kill. You can just get 1 drop plus scales, or you can get scales plus 2 drops. Normally, you're going to get scales plus 2 drops. These can be 500 scales, and 300 scales, depending on your luck. It's very rare that's going to happen. I've never had it happen to me, but it can happen. But normally, you're going to get Zulrah scales, and then 2 drops. Now, Raw Sharks, Battle Stabs, Dragon Bones, Ceradomin Brews, and Mahogany Planks. These are this is your money. This is where Zulrah makes money. If you're an Iron Man, this is just everything you've ever wanted. It also drops like flax and other stuff like that. It also drops adamantite bars. Adamantite bars. But this is the real money from Zulrah. Also, we have the Jar of Swamp, which you don't ever want. If you get it, I feel for you. There's the Pet Snakeling, which, let's face it, everyone wants. And then you have your 2 Mutagens. Mutagens don't actually do anything for you, they just recolor the Serpentine Visage. Let's get on to the other part of the guide. Okay, so this is the very low level / Iron Man just wanting to get the first few kills, whatnot. This is not recommended at all. Very not recommended. But if you feel confident in yourself, you feel like you can do it, go for it. We have for a mage gear, we have full mystics, which take you 66 mage to get, roughly. I have like the black helmet and stuff, or black helmet, the Mystic Hat Dark, just because it was in my bank and I didn't really feel like purchasing a different one. But either way, I have the Amulet of Power just so that there's not like huge hunter area, because most Iron Men don't, or some Iron Men don't have glories, and saying you're just wanting to do Zulrah and skip some stages, go for it. We have Broad Bolts, 55 there plus Fletching. We have your Ivan Staff, which you're basically going to need this if you want to do Barrows of Zulrah. So, Mind Shield, just because it's a good shield because I'm saying that you don't have a book. You don't have like a wilderness shield or something like that. Something good there, and then your ring of recoil. Then we have your rune crossbow, your Ava's attractor accumulator, your snakeskin boots, saying you have them. If you don't have them, probably the boots aren't really that big of an issue. And your full black d'hide. You're gonna say, what's like this is on an Iron Man not easy to get most of this stuff, right? It costs a fair bit, like the broad bolts is you're gonna unlock that doing Slayer, which you're gonna do. These black d'hide pieces, you're gonna say, well, that's a pretty high crafting level, but you'll get them from hard clues, right? You will get them from hard clues. The rune crossbow, that is probably the hardest thing to get on this list here. There is a method that Ultimate Iron Man do where you won't have to do the range phase, and that's up to you. If you'd like to take that extra bit of food, it'll slow down your kills. Some kills you might not be able to get, but you can do that if you would like. It's all up to you. The Quamoms aren't really that hard to get, and the Shark, they have a pretty high requirement, but while you're getting the black d'hide, you should get these from clues very likely. Now you're going to say, that's not a lot of food. If you want to, you can not take as much of the range gear, not take any of the range gear if you're going to do the method for the Ultimate Iron Man. However you want to do it, but this is just as much food as I can fit in with the stuff that you kind of need. Now, you're going to say, you have all runes and an air battle staff, or you can just have an air staff, it doesn't really matter. I just picked up the battle staff because of reason. This is my teleporting method. I'm taking the most possible items you need to get to Zulrah, just so that if you just pick one of the other methods that will come later on in the video, then you don't just fill it up with food, right? But this is just like the bare bones minimum. You're saying, super anti-poison, if you're an Iron Man, you will not have, and this is your first few kills of Zulrah, and you don't really have a high herbal level, or a, well, Solar Helmet, the Visage, right? Then the Visage. Then you will need to drink a lot of anti-poison because Zulrah is going to do a lot of damage to you. But if you're not, nah man, just make this a super anti or a venom poison, and you're good to go. Just make it like any of the other guides, any of the other inventories, and you're good to go. Just do prayer potions because you're going to need a lot of prayer. I'm saying that you don't have the herb load to make any stats, like stat boosting potions either, but of course, if you're a normal account, you can just buy it. Just buy them, they'll help you out a lot. Okay, so this is your lot more medium tier getup. Same with the, if you have a better or you have a better anti-poison, use better anti-poison. If you're a main, if you're an Iron Man, use what you got, right? Same with this teleport method, most things I can say. Same with if you can get the stat boosting potions, then take them. If not, this is what you got. But the improvement is Void. This will help a ton. It'll make it a lot easier. I did a lot of kills in Void. If you see someone in Clan Wars running in Void, you know they're doing Zulrah. Unless they have melee Void on, which then they're doing Corp. Okay. Basically, it's the exact same getup. If you can get a better amulet, if you're a main, or if you are an Iron Man that has a better amulet, use the better amulet. Same with if you have better boots, if you have a better shield. If you have better bolts, you can use those. You can use like ruby bolts or diamond bolts, enchanted of course. But this is just the basics that you'll need, is this. Okay, so this is going to be your more high to max tier getup. I'm going to say this isn't really max tier. I'm not going to say, oh, put an Elysian on and all of that stuff, right? This is more your average player. This is like kind of the really good gear you want for Zulrah. Your mage, you're going to want Arams, you're going to want a occult necklace. If you don't have an occult necklace, if you're an Iron Man that doesn't have one, or if you just don't have the money for it, get a Fury and just go with that. I have the Necklace of Anguish for my range, but if you have a Fury, then you can just save that spot completely. But if not, then use the Fury for range, and the occult necklace for mage, because the occult necklace is a lot better with the Trident. You're also going to be using a Trident, or a Trident of the Swamp. Trident of the Swamp is substantially better, but it costs a lot more. You're going to have the same with a Samurai cape. You're going to have Barrow's gloves on. You're going to have whatever your boots are. You're only going to have a Peaceful Blessing, because I'm saying with this method, you have a blowpipe. If you're still don't have a blowpipe at this point, just don't have the Peaceful Blessing. Use whatever bolts you can use, and your crossbow, Armadillo Rune, depending on what you have. I'm going to say by this point you also have a Book of Darkness or one of their Wilderness Shields, right? On. You can also have a Ring of Suffering. It does cost a pretty penny, but it has fairly good stats on it, defensive, and it holds Ring of Recall charges. So you don't have to keep switching through your Rings of Recalls, breaking them every so often, wasting charges. It's a lot better overall in time, overall money-wise. And then for your range, now, you're going to, depending on which phase you get, very likely have to drop a food at the start, but then you're going to want to switch over to this. Now, of course, if you have Armadillo, then use that. But not many people are going to have full Armadillo and whatnot. If you have full Armadillo, then just, keep the Barrow's gloves on and just use the Armadillo here. But if not, then just switch over to your Range Void, and this is pretty much the setup you want. Plus, by this point, you're going to have potions, I'm assuming. So we'll just have your 1, 1, 1, 1. This is the perfect setup that you need. You'll only need 1,600, don't worry about all that. Okay, so for method 1 of getting to Zulrah, this is probably the longest one. You're going to teleport to Camelot. You're going to run down here to the charter ships. You're going to charter a boat over with the 1,600 GP down to the Tower 1, and then you're going to just run down from here to Zulrah. Also, if you have Lunar Diplomacy done, then you can be on Lunars, because you don't need to be on Normals for this. You can teleport right here, and you'll run down to the charter ship, and you'll just run down to here. Next option is you can ectophile to the Ectofungus over here, then just run to the charter ship here, and charter a boat to here, and run down. Next is if you somehow have a lot of Zulrah scales, or Zulrah teleports, or you want to blow 60k a kill for no apparent reason, you can use a Zulrah teleport, which will bring you right there. Fastest way, but just really expensive. Next is if you have 71 agility and summer pies readily available, or 76 agility, you can use the fairy ring BJS by using either the two methods is a Slayer ring to Relica, and just pop out the cave and use the fairy ring right here, or use a quest cape down to right there, and boom, fairy ring there, and you'll land up right here. You'll just use your Shimmer Pie, jump over, and run right to Zulrah. Those are your different ways of getting there. Whichever way you pick, just set up your inventory accordingly. Take less food, take more food, depending on how many inventory spots you have available. Okay, so this is the part of the video where I should be showing you Zulrah kills. Some really complicated map with a bunch of little circles colored differently, telling you where to run with a certain phase. I'm not going to, however, because you following that, you look and you see it popping up. You're like, okay, there's a red face just popped up. Okay, I know that it was green and then not blue and now red. Okay, it's going to be green next. You're looking at your map trying to figure that out, right? You're not looking at Zulrah. You're going to, one, build the reliance to the map. Two, you're not going to be actually killing Zulrah. So you're going to die a substantial amount more times than you should. You're going to die a lot of times learning Zulrah. It costs a lot less now to learn it than when Zulrah first came out, of course, because it was a lot easier back then, because we had Zolander teleports. They were cheap. You could get them a couple hundred GP and you could just go. Now it's not. Now you have to run. But your gear won't degrade. Like back, if you used to use arms, your arms used to be degraded. Now you'll keep it with you, right? So it's a lot cheaper to learn Zulrah, but you will use a lot of food. You will not get a lot of kills. It will take you. You'll get maybe 1 kill in the first 10, 20 kills. And then once you start getting your 10th kill, once you start getting your 20th kill, then it will start coming, and like about the time you get 100 kills in Zulrah, you'll almost never die. Unless some range phase happens, or some mage phase, and then you pray the wrong thing, or you stand in the gas too long, whatnot. Also, there is gas. Don't stand in the gas. Pretty general thing between all MMOs. Don't stand in the fire, don't stand in the gas, just don't. You'll learn where you should be, when you should be, and what phase it's going to be by practice. That's it. I hope this guide helped you. Leave a like and comment below if it did.